Professor and former Principal of Dr.B.R.Ambedkar College of Law, Andhra University, as our guest of honor for today. She is a distinguished academician with MA, ML and PhD degrees. Ma'am specializes in environmental law and has contributed notable researches in areas including international law and territorial waters. During her tenure as principal of Dr.B.R.Ambedkar College, she led the college through its proud Platinum Jubilee celebrations, a milestone highlighted by national media. Her scholarship, leadership and commitment to legal education continue to inspire students and the legal community alike. I now request you to please address the gathering.
Thank you for all the good words. Vice-Chancellor, very good evening to all of you. And in fact, it's a great pleasure standing here and then having the opportunity to share some of my thoughts with you all. And coming to DSNLU, it always feels like a homecoming for me. Because most of the Vice-Chancellors have come from Andhra University, almost many of the staff members also. We have a close relation, that's how. And friends, 76 years ago, we have given unto ourselves a constitution which promises us justice, equality, liberty and fraternity. So every word in the preamble is so profound that it would have a lasting impact on the life of the nation. And when we celebrate the Constitution Day, perhaps this is an occasion for us to remind ourselves of the great sacrifices of those people, and also the decision of those constitution makers who have given us, who have drafted this and given us this constitution. And friends, a constitution must be, this is a document, this must be a document which would unite all the people through shared and common goals and values, and inspire a spirit of nationalism amongst all the citizens also. And what happened with the Indian Constitution? So what did the Constitution makers do? Those stalwarts who were involved in the drafting or making of the Constitution, first and foremost, we remember Dr.B.R.Ambedkar being the chairman of the drafting committee of the Constitution, and then the other stalwarts like Alladi Krishnaswamy Iyer, or maybe T.T. Krishnamachari or K.M. Munshi, all these personalities, great personalities. And then the constitutional advisor, of course, Sri Venugola Narasimha Rao, who has been not only a civil servant, but he also represented India in the Security Council. He was the President of Security Council, and also he was the first ever judge from India in the International Court of Justice. And it must have been, with all their intellectual acumen and their expertise and experience, this must have been a Herculean task, a challenge for these persons to make the constitution. Because looking at the social, economic and political environment prevailing during that period. So India was emerging from the age of colonialism, and then short of being totally independent. And Indian society is, it has never been homogeneous. Like a heterogeneous, multicultural, multi-racial and multilinguistic society, this is how we can define. And all these people, or all these different cultures and different religions, different ideologies, they had to be brought together and uniting them all, and then inspiring a spirit of nationality in all these people. So these people, these draftsmen have very successfully done it, and the way in which the Constitution works, this is evidence, or this is a testimony to their hard work. And principally it is said, well, not said, but it is something which all of us know, that while the Constitution was being drafted, that was the time in the United Nations Organization, the Universal Declaration of Human Rights was also being prepared. And this was adopted in 1948, but simultaneously Constitution was being drafted. And then the United Nations, the human rights ideology, it did have a profound impact on the drafting of the Constitution. And we borrowed, we incorporated these human rights or fundamental rights, as we call them, into the Indian Constitution. And we borrowed not only from the UDHR, but essentially from also the United States. And we borrowed several things from several countries. So the parliamentary form of democracy from United Kingdom, or maybe things like advisory opinions of the Supreme Court from Canada, or maybe from Australia and from France, liberty, equality and fraternity. And the ideals of the French Revolution and then the American War of Independence, they were still fresh. Like they had a significant impact on us. And then the fundamental rights, apart from fundamental rights, the directive principles of state policy. We did take the models of Ireland, the Irish Constitution, Japanese Constitution, and all these things. But what is that? Did we do a patchwork? Borrowing different things from different sources, it's like weaving a thesis or weaving a theory. And this was the challenge for the constitution makers to synthesize all these values and then ideologies into one and ultimately evolve a national spirit through the Constitution of India. And these ideas and the constitutional ideas and principles, they were drafted in such a way that they should be imbibed into the everyday lives of the people and also into the everyday life of all the constitutional and state organs. So, this is a set of the basic values by which we would be governed. And it is 75 years since we have adopted this constitution, which has entered into force. Then, what happened? And there is a criticism or something, a viewpoint that Indian Constitution is amended, while American Constitution was amended very few times, and Indian Constitution within a period of 75 years was amended more than 100 times. But what does it show? Does it show any weakness of the Constitution or its strength? Apart from being resilient, so any ideology or any principle, it will have to stand the test of times. So, adapting itself to the changing times. And that is how the Constitution, we find several amendments to the Constitution. We have amended the preamble, and we have amended aspects relating to right to property, and then adding more schedules, the local provisions relating to the local bodies, and then fundamental duties, incorporation of fundamental duties, and then infusing environmentalism through incorporation of directive principles and then the fundamental duties, and all these things we have done. And apart from these direct amendments, the Constitution also has evolved. The constitutional principles have also evolved over a period of time through judicial interpretation. And perhaps Article 21 is the most discussed and debated article in the Constitution of India, with an expansive, adopting an expansive jurisprudence. So the scope of this article has been expanded beyond imagination. And we have fundamental rights privacy, and then education, work, right to education, gender equality, I mean all these things. And as we can see in the relatively recent past, the Sabarimala judgment, the triple talaq, and then the case relating to adultery, I mean all these things. And synthesizing the principles of parliamentary sovereignty from United Kingdom, and then supremacy of the judiciary from United States, we have evolved the principle of constitutional supremacy. So, and whatever the institution may be, whatever the occasion may be, constitution is supreme, and it is our everyday everyday practices and then everyday observance of these constitutional principles that would further go to strengthen the Constitution of India. And then while our forefathers have given us a document, a living document, and which, by virtue of which we are able to enjoy our freedom, dignity, and other rights. And all of us have an equal responsibility of passing on these values and then the fruits of their struggles to the forthcoming generations also. So, thank you all, friends, for this great opportunity. And my special thanks are to Professor Prakasa, who has so gracefully invited me that I just couldn't say no also. So, thank you, sir. Thank you.
I.P.S. and SP Anakapalli District. So, thank you, sir, for your presence here and for listening valuable suggestions for how to manage the daily activities, morning to evening. And definitely, we'll assure you, sir, we'll take precautions with regard to all activities of the students. And also, I'm also thankful to DSP, sir, and local police, Ramchandra, they are very cooperative, sir. Every day they are consulting us, they are helping us in that. I'm also thankful to Lakshmi for your valuable suggestions, Sumitra for your valuable insights in the Constitution. And
today, our Honorable SP sir birthday. A small arrangement was made outside the campus. Cake was arranged, and all of you are requested to attend that. And another announcement. So, in connection with this Constitution Day celebrations, we organized essay competition and debate competitions also. 13 students participated in the essay competition and 6 students participated in the debate. So results will be announced shortly. Meanwhile, because this is the Constitution Day, in order to encourage the students in future to participate more and more, each student participant will be given one Constitution of India text. So 13 plus 6, 19, they will collect from the Vice-Chancellor. So time is short, so that's it. Thank you.